Myrna's already shaken her head yes, because she has seen and met and talked to Gary, so she knows what you guys are in for today. Has anyone in this room not met Gary Barnes yet? Okay, cool. Very cool. Cheryl, if you raised your hand, I was going to say you put your hand down. I was waiting for her just to play with us a little bit. Sigrid has not. Awesome. Very cool. Well, listen, Gary Barnes is, if you guys read my email this morning, I was a little sassy like I normally am. And I said, integrity is everything, right? And we've all met that person or those people where they claim integrity, but that's really just manipulation at its finest because they want you to think they're the kind of person that would never do that kind of thing. And through that email, I proceeded to share with you that Gary Barnes genuinely is the person that would sacrifice himself for your success. And I mean that wholeheartedly. You can see that beautiful blonde Cheryl. She is shaking her head because that's Gary's protege. She works very, very closely with Gary. She knows, I know, and you will soon receive that this man would give the shirt off of his back to a complete stranger. So we're not here to strong arm you. We're not here to push you into any corner. He's here to serve. And I'm just the conduit today. And I could read Gary's resume, which is very, very impressive. Cheryl could recite it for me at this point. Gary can tell you about himself, but it's more about you. And so, Gary, welcome again. Thank you for coming out to play with my friends.
Well, thank you so much. And it's very humbling. It's one of those things that at times it's very hard to hear someone say nice things about you. I call it the duck syndrome, where somebody gives you a compliment and it rolls off your back. And I've had to learn to receive that.
Yeah.
And because I consider myself, and I've called myself forever, and those that have been around me know, I'm just the kid next door. And, if I say when you start believing your own PR, you're in trouble. And some of the professional or the college guys coming out in the NFL that has proved detrimental to some of them because they are believing their own PR and they're paying the price for that. But what I mean by I'm the kid next door is everything and anything I have done, you can do. It's not that I'm something special. It's something that I have made certain decisions and applied what my mentors have taught me and the things that I've created out of that, and to give permission to step into their greatness. Virtually everybody has greatness, everybody has a story, everybody has benefit. And unfortunately, in our society, we have been told to stay in our line, be quiet, shut up, sit down.
You're too
And
much.
yeah, it is just, it's really hard to see that.
So, just so you all know, Gary is more of the type that doesn't like the spotlight, even though I just spotlight his video so you could all see him. He likes to see your face. He likes to engage. He is truly a servant leader. And so we're going to kind of start this off. If you're willing to be bold and if you're willing to be transparent, this is a very safe place. I want you to know that. I'm a mama bear. I have a zero tolerance policy. And I got a line of people on this screen that will back me up and have a zero tolerance policy before Gary even has a chance to get to you. So we'd love Papa Bear. Look at that. So we'd love to know, what's your biggest struggle, biggest challenge in your business right now, in this moment? Share that in the chat if you're willing to.
The reason we're asking this is that we have an outline of what we want to share with you today, but we want to customize it to those of you that have taken the time, the investment to come here today. So this can be the most valuable hour, hour and a half, whatever. Last time I think we went 2 hours, that you can get out of this time, because this is actually, time is your most valuable asset. and it's not something we can duplicate. We can't get it back. And so we want to be able to really reach and give you the tools, the techniques, the ideas that are going to make an impact for you right now. So that's why we're starting out this way. It's a little bit different.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. I like how you work. So my friend Dawson says learning how to grow the right audience and not just views. How many of us can relate?
It's interesting, Dawson. So much of the trainings that have come before, it says identify your market and then go after them. It's the riches and the niches and the creative vertical. Uh, what I have come to learn that has worked for me very well is to show up, share my thoughts, share my personality, and allow my community to come towards me. It's what I call becoming a people magnet. So instead of focusing on the industry or the demographics, it's like right now, it's really been strange. 85% of my client base has developed over the last, as I've been tracking it, for at least 15 years. 85% of my client base are female, but I don't market to women. That's the thing. And some of my female clients say, you need to market to women. I go, do you want me to go out of business? What I have done is showcased who I am, how I am, my thoughts, my processes, and people that relate to you will start following you. And so we don't have to morph to them because that doesn't work. You are who you are, and you're enough in who you are. And whether you're young, you're old, you're educated, uneducated, you have a message. And when you share that message, it's going to resonate, and then people will start showing up. Now the key is when they start showing up, have a place that I call sticky, to where they're going to get even better, more information and more value. Sometimes we forget to add that in, and we go out and make a splash, but there's no ripples. The ripples are how people are able to connect with you. So it's a great question, because it's we have a tendency to focus on, oh golly, they didn't follow me. Well, that's a good thing, because you don't have to waste your time on someone that doesn't connect to you. And so really investing in those that have that genuine interest is where the key is.
Thank you for saying that. And thank you for reminding us that we have permission to be ourselves. And like you said, not morph to other people's expectations, right? Or opinions. Dawson, I don't know if you're able to unmute where you are, but if you wanted to elaborate or talk to Gary about what just happened, feel free.
Yeah, that helps a lot. I mean, because I'm just starting out with when it comes to marketing in different areas, just starting out with the whole social media thing. I mean, I've done social media before. A couple years back, I was actually a Christian artist, had just signed with a producer, released a single, was doing the whole social media platform thing, and then over socials had some record labels from Nashville reach out and want to sign me. But I was about 15 about when that happened. So it wasn't the right time for sure. So I said no. And I've taken really just a big step back these past 2 years because I'm just 17 now. But these past 2 years, taking a big step back from social media. But getting back into it is a process of learning how to keep that same consistency and also that same drive. Keeping that same drive. I mean, because I'm on YouTube Reels, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Instagram Threads, Pinterest. I mean, I'm everywhere I possibly know where I need to be. So I guess it's just one of those things of staying consistent where I'm at and letting that audience come to me.
So one of the things that I have learned, and I get, you know, the old drive down in an industry that riches and are niches again, is my focus is on pain points. And so, and I'd like to do something. I'm going to ask the group, how many of you in the group right now, or if you're not showing your face, you can type it into the chat. How many of you would like to be Dawson now at 17, knowing what he is learning and has all these years ahead of him? I just go, man, dude, I'm so impressed. And Kim and Cheryl know I don't say things that I don't mean. The one of the things that I would caution you on is don't tell people you're new. Don't be, use your youth. I mean, you're wiser beyond your years because of your experiences, your value. People don't buy us for how old we are, or they buy us for the value that they perceive that we can give them. And so stand in your knowledge of where you are. One of the analogies that I use for people that technically are starting out, or no matter where we are, people have asked me forever, what is the right road? And my answer is there's only one road. We're just all at different mile markers. So if you're serving a group of people that is at a mile marker behind you, you will be valuable to them. And the key here is to know when you have risen to your level of incompetency. And that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that somebody is needing something beyond your experience. And that's where a group like what Kim has here is amazing that you can tie into and collaborate with other people that are at a different mile marker. But it doesn't take you out of the equation. Does that make sense?
That does make complete sense. Thank you so much.
And partially too, you said keep the momentum. And when you truly attach to the
Mhm.
mission is the motivation.
Yeah.
The people that as you work with them and you impact them and you see what it has really benefited them to incorporate into their life, into their business, that's what gives you all of the incentive to go through the pain to get to the pleasure. Because it's not about us. And when
Yeah.
I train speakers, and Cheryl does this too, is that I am the subject, but I am not the message. And when we realize that, now we can go out and share the message and allow the message to be something that's connecting to a pain point, and people will start coming to you. And this is another phrase that I use is you become a people magnet. So you become that Pied Piper, and people look around. They go, Gary, how did you get your group? How did you get your community? I go, I showed up. They're all volunteers. I mean, it's just like, they're not mine. They're just part of the community that they have decided for whatever reason, a day, a year, a lifetime. We don't know how long the ebb and flow goes.
Mhm.
But as long as we're showing up and providing value, people will start showing up for you as well.
Thank you so much. It's helped a ton.
You're welcome.
I love that. I love that. That's amazing. Gary has Cheryl and Kim has Dawson. We're like peas and carrots. If you guys know Forrest Gump, then you get the reference. A lot of times we tend to look at ourselves and the flaws and the things that we're not. And so I love the feedback that you gave him because I saw a lot of heads nodding like, okay, this lands.
Well, and here's something else is I know there's a lot of angst between us and Canada right now, but I'm going to use an illustration. In the United States, when we go and we're going to school, we produce an assignment. When you get that assignment back, what is identified? All of the things that are wrong. And it's always done in red. In Canada, they give you your paper back and they put everything you did right and it's in green. We have been taught to look at what Kim was just talking about, how we are not good enough, how we are lacking, how instead of looking at, oh golly, I have all of these benefits, I have these talents, and will they get better? As a speaker, I've given over 1,100 talks. And, there was about 10 years ago, a woman came up to me after she had seen me speak, and she said, I saw you speak before and you got good. I went, well, what was I before? And she goes, well, you were okay, but you got good. And I went, I hope so. I've had another 500 talks. If I was still the same, I'd be in trouble. But, you're there for a reason. You've been given the opportunity to connect with a person. Uh, some of you know I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 1988 and was told I would be dead or in a wheelchair within 10 years. Last week I had a referral because I deal with cancer, lupus, MS, any of those types of things for free. If people want to reach out to me, and I'll put it out to any group, anybody going through something like that, they want to talk to me, I do it with no charge. And I talked to another gentleman, And I was able to impact him in a way because I showed up. And so when we do that, then it becomes a mission. It becomes something more than a job. It becomes something more than a business.
That's why you're the one talking today and not me. You guys, isn't he amazing already? I hope you're getting notes. My friend Chris, Chris has an amazing story. I know we all do. And when I say amazing, I mean just wow. And I have a lot of respect for this guy's hustle. I mean, it's his story to tell. I'm not going to tell it, but Chris, can you unmute so I can find you? I found
Right
you.
here.
Hey, buddy.
Hey,
Meet Gary Barnes.
hey, Gary. So, yeah, I've been in the game for quite a long time, but I've yet to turn a profit. I don't know really what I'm doing wrong. I know it take more than just this little conversation to fix that, but yeah, I'm a podcaster, YouTuber, monetized, but don't make enough on the monetization end really to talk about.
Can I give you my supposition? And it's one that I think that many people on this call will relate to. That is the challenge for you.
Sure.
You have a block in receiving.
Okay.
There is a book that I recommend around this, and it's written by Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen, which are the chicken soup guys. But this is not a chicken soup book. It's called The Aladdin Factor. And the whole book's premise is ASK to GET, ask to get. And what we have a tendency to do is not value what we're producing, not valuing what we have to offer, or we haven't positioned it in a way that's easily accessible and implementable by the people that want what you have. And it's a way of showcasing. And for the most part, I would say 90+% of the people that I've ever worked with coaching is that they have undervalued their price. They've shortcutted their themselves out of the receiving area, and there's something that's called projection. Sometimes when we're starting out and we don't have the revenue, we don't have, and we start projecting that nobody else does either, and that's not true. People will invest. Remember, this is a word that I want you to really embrace. People will invest, not spend, into a result where they believe it will have the potential of solving a problem, a pain point. And so, and I obviously we just met. I don't know your backstory or your process, but and sometimes it's also if you do have a product or service and you put it down to such a low level, that's the problem. If people don't see it as valuable because they're saying you're not valuable, you're not valuing it as valuable. That doesn't mean that you have to go out and start charging $1 million for stuff. And there's a flow of how to bring people in. One of the things that I love giving stuff away, and I have a free something I'm going to give everyone at the end today. And people say, well, why do you give something free away? Because I want the relationship. I want that initial. And so many times that people will go onto a program and go, hi, I have this high level, and they go, well, who are you? We violated the relationship code, if you will. And so part of it is, I would love to have a conversation with you and give you a couple of specific ideas. But yeah, it's getting out of our own way at times and saying, yes, I do have value. And there are people that will invest in what I have to offer. They just need to know you're there. And when we go through the 3 keys for success, it'll be the key number 1 for you.
Okay. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.
Can you guys realize that this is not scripted? We have, I call this is like flying without a safety net on a trapeze. By the way, I've flown on a trapeze with no feelings in my hands, which is another story. But
Listen, Don't
Yep.
use those references. I'm having a retreat next month, and the girls in this room are going skydiving with me, and they are scared to death.
So it's easy. It's one step. Gravity does everything else. You have to just go along for the ride. You know, I have bungee jumped. I have walked on fire. I have broken arrows in my throat. I have trapezed. I've driven destruction derbies. I have flown World War II fighters upside down, right side up. You know, it just like enjoy the experience. And what I would recommend, I heard about this, Kim, I'd recommend every one of you that is going to capture the emotion, capture the benefits, capture how you feel now and be able to write about it, share it with your audience. Because, you know, the thing that's really unique is people want to live vicariously through you. It's not because look at me, look at what I've done, is why did I do it? What was the benefit of it? And you're giving people permission to step into the unknown, which is always uncomfortable. And you're trusting, I'm guessing it's tandem, you're doing a tandem jump.
It is.
Okay, so you're trusting another human being like other people will be trusting you. There is a whole lot of analogies within this exercise, and I'm wanting pictures.
You
So,
bet.
you know,
You
I
bet.
have not skydived yet, but I've done so many other weird and wonderful things that people say I'm crazy. But and I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I'm an experience junkie. That's really who I am.
I love it. I love it.
So was there something? Was there
We
something else in the chat?
we have so many more. So Cheryl Campbell, let me see where she is. Cheryl, are you able to unmute?
I can.
Thank you. All right.
Hello.
I was just gonna ask. I'm like, you guys might as well ask. Hold on, I'm screwing up. There you go, Cheryl.
There you are.
You know
Hello.
Gary Barnes yet before today?
No,
Okay.
so happy to be here, Gary. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I didn't know if did I have a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me go scroll up. Did you remember your question? Or do
I
you want me
really
to-
didn't have a
Okay.
question, but now that we're here and it's so impromptu, I will share this. I too have been in the game for a very long time and have done everything from e-commerce to a lot of teaching and have had success and had it taken away and success and had it taken away. And this past fall, I decided that I didn't like the people I was working with anymore. You know, it just wasn't close to my heart. And so I completely switched gears and I am struggling a little bit. It's like I go through little pockets again. I had really a community stand behind me and participated in a course that I was creating, rave reviews. And I was so excited because everything was going so great. And then I broke some ribs and had physical issues and everything else. And nobody showed up for the second rendition of the course. And I'm just kind of at this crossroad going, what's going on? That kind of thing.
So it's a course, it's like a home study course, or is it
It's a coaching program with that is both materials and a membership area, so they have everything. And then one-on-one to follow up on everything, but weekly meetings. It's a 3-week, 2 times a week. But what I'm doing is I'm teaching people how to bring their spirituality into their business, so they're more in alignment with their marketing and everything else. And a little bit of imposter syndrome coming through because it worked so great for me. You know, when I first started putting all of this out there and I'm attracting all this wonderful stuff, and then a nosedive. And so now I'm a little hesitant about moving forward because I feel a little bit like a fraud, you know, and a lot of it is very emotional right now because I've been in so much pain, you know, and
physical or mental or both?
physical because of the ribs. I'm really struggling with it.
Okay. Kim knows and Cheryl knows the last year and a half for me, I was in pain 24/7 at 8, 9, and 10. It was so bad that my wife and boys were thinking if I wasn't going to be able to have surgery, because they were thinking maybe it was going to be in October, that I would not be here with you. I didn't know they were doing that. So I went, thank you so much for not telling me you think I was going to die. But, hey. Um, and on April 1, I had hip replacement surgery. Now my pain is 0 to 1. I'm still having to rewire, everything is really great, but I understand where you are in having to move through pain that also then translates to the emotional side. Um, there's two thoughts that I was coming up for you. Is one is we have a tendency to sell from, and I use the word sell. We're going to change that word. Sell from a point of tactics and elements of what the course is, instead of what the walkaway benefits are for the person that engages with you, because that's what they want. They want the benefit. They don't care how you give it to them. And the other is, if we really take I'm a wordsmith type of guy. You eliminate the word sell out of your vocabulary and replace it with the word share. It takes the energy away from that of conversion. And actually, that's step number 2 in the 3 keys for success. Because when we have this agenda, even though we want to serve and we want to be able to provide benefit and give results, somehow it is transmitted and they start feeling like it's about you, not just about them. And so I would be curious, and one of the things you could do is those that were in the other groups is go back to them and say, you know, I am doing a 2.0, a 3.0 of the program. I would just love what you got and what you would have liked to have seen in the program. So they have experienced it and just see what it was that they didn't see either the value or the application for themselves, how it would fit for them.
I actually did do that already, and I have like the first course, I kept it small to only 10 people, and I got 10 rave reviews. And they helped me create the next version of it as we were co-creating together. And so I already know that, and I don't believe in the words, I don't like sale either.
Yeah.
I don't like that word. I tend to use other vocabulary for all of that as well. So I am just going to sit here and absorb everything that you have to say today, though.
Well, one of the things we have to remember when we are truly in a seed sowing, sharing environment is that the only thing that we can control as entrepreneurs, business owners, is our activity. We cannot control the results. And we have a tendency to justify and feel good or bad about ourselves according to the results. But when we realize that we plant a seed, there is a gestation period. And in that gestation period, we don't know what it's going to be. One of my clients has been, oh God, he's been with me 4 or 5 years now. He's an attorney and been working and putting it out. All of a sudden, since the first of this year, everything has exploded for him. I mean, it just like, and he goes, what did we do different? I go, we didn't do anything different. We were just consistent and persistent in putting the message out, finding the community or letting the community know we're there. And now it's all happening. And it's really a neat thing. Some people, we have a tendency to judge ourselves a little bit because we look at other people and they go, hey, I'm here. And all of a sudden everything works. And they go, well, it's not doing the same thing for me. So what am I doing wrong? And it's not about doing wrong. It's just about the audience in that gestation period. And that doesn't mean that we don't tweak little things along the way. And that's the thing that I love about what Kim does with Pinterest and the coaching she does, is that it's those little adjustments that make a big difference. In fact, there is, I believe it was Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was my first mentor, and it was small hinges swing big doors. It's not the big things that we do that make the biggest differences. It's the little things we do consistently. And when we really embrace that, then we can give ourselves permission to really engage. And that's where also faith comes in. Uh, faith-based connection to business is, I ask audiences, do you have faith? And I get almost 100% yes. And I follow up, have you ever used it? And almost every hand goes down. I said, so you have hope for faith. And so what
Unmuted. I'm just trying to figure out who's the culprit here. Okay, sorry.
and so this is where when we believe, truly believe and embrace that this is what was given to us to do. I call it the nudge. When you've been given that permission to share in any form, whether it be in a one-on-one to one-to-many, you've been giving that opportunity. And it's an awesome responsibility, but it's very humbling. And so our job again is to share the message, and those that it resonates with comes back into the fold. That help?
Yes, it does. And you just triggered something in my mind that I actually think I'm going through a huge fear phase right now, because I did take a leap of faith in putting a book that I actually channeled out there, and it's being published soon. And didn't realize it, but I'm scared like you wouldn't believe, because it shares a lot of stuff that a lot of people around me don't know that I experience. And I think I'm a little bit afraid of what they're going to think.
They're going to think what they think, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. For me, I came from a very dysfunctional family where I'm the oldest, and I was the chosen special one. And I do that from stage. I don't have to tell them all the darkness. I don't have to tell them, but people will come up and they go, "We knew you would understand." But the reality is, when we think people are even talking about us, most of the time they're not. They're in their own world. They're in their own, story. And what you're doing, Cheryl, is creating a story before the story happens. And, oh golly, the guy that owns Virgin Airlines,
Richard Branson.
who?
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson says, if you're not being shot at, you're not out there far enough. There was a guy in the 70s that I followed. I'm, by the way, I'm older, not old, but in the 70s, called Bob Harrington. And Bob Harrington was a pastor on Bourbon Street. But he was a flashy guy. He'd wear big chains and big diamonds and rings on every finger, and he'd be on all the talk shows. And they would say, "Pastor, how is it that you're able to wear all of these jewels and people are going hungry?" He goes, "Well, God created, I'm a child of the king, and he created all these things for me, not you heathens." But he also said, "I would rather be in the pack or out front getting goosed than in the pack doing the goosing." And so over the years, I've actually created what I call the Goose Award. And I have given this Goose Award out to people that have been going through some really tough times with being shot at. And particularly the ones that will be the most unkind are your friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
And another book I'd like to recommend is called Good to Great. And Good to Great talks about there's a bus and everybody can get on the bus. There's plenty of room on the bus. People have told me for a long time, "You left me." I said, "No, you have chosen not to come with me." And when they say you've left me, it's about them. They want you to come back into their comfort zone. And you are doing something that is outside of their idea of good. And so it's when you have this, I'm proud of you. I don't know you, but I'm proud of you for taking that step. And it is scary. It is supposed to be scary because one of my Garyisms is the first time always is. You don't know what it is, but you have people in your corner. You have Kim that has that ability to walk with you as well. And so don't be afraid to reach out to people and say, "Hey, I need to hear a voice that likes me and supports." It's okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Cheryl, thank you for sharing. And we'll continue to pray with you for healing and certainly through the book launch as well. That's very exciting.
If anybody is, I have broken ribs twice. It's one of the most painful things you can go through. And there's nothing you can do about it. You just got it out.
Time. So I'm just watching the clock and we do have to stop at top of the hour. So do you want to dive into these 3 keys?
Yeah, sure. I really have honed down to three simple concepts. And a lot of times people will say simple and easy. It's simple, but not easy. So you want simple, but normally you're building new habits, you're building new beliefs in actually making a difference. And so the three keys, the first key is to be seen, SEEN. If you're the best kept secret, it doesn't do you or the people that you are wanting to serve any good. And that's really the biggest challenge for people is to be seen. How many of you that I can see, how many of you really love doing videos and doing, oh, a couple of you, most people don't because they don't like how they look on stage and they don't like how their voice sounds. But it's when we really embrace it's that concept of I am the subject, but not the message. That we're putting things out because the things that I'm saying, I don't know what's resonate and what I'm supposed to say. I just trust that there is something that is being said that's going to make a difference for at least one person. And that's the prayer that I pray before every time I do any kind of talk is let me touch one. You're never going to get the whole audience. So there is a reason that that opportunity has come up for you. But to be seen is to be seen in a genuine manner. Sometimes we think we have to be different or we have to be perfect. It just, anybody that knows me knows that I make up words. I have words that mean certain things that I didn't know they mean, and sometimes get a little bit in trouble, or there's all kinds of stories. But the be seen part is where we're just showcasing. And when we are allowing ourselves to do that, you're in the hot seat. And the people that are watching on a video, they're watching you from stage, or they're seeing a post, a blog, those people are in their safe zone. And so they're seeing really is the things that you're talking about, does it resonate? Have they done, is there something that for some reason they want to connect with you? And the be seen part is something that doesn't ever go away. It's something that you're going to be looking at where is the best place to, like Dawson talked about all the different platforms. People ask me, what platform should I be using? And I go, yes. The answer is all of them because every platform has a different market section of the population. You don't know who is there to engage with you that is actually looking for you. But part of this is, again, like what Kim does with her program, is we have to be able to communicate with the right words. People will be searching for us. And if we're using the words that we understand and not the people that are looking for us, we're going to have a disconnect. And here's a reality too. Most of the people that will engage with you are opposite you. If they're the same as you, most of the time they have the same abilities as you. And that gets to be a little bit different type of insecurity is like we like doing things with people that are just like us. But I'm an expressive driver and I have a number of analytical drivers, which my wife is an analytical driver. We have been married over 50 years. There is no reason we should be married today. We are so totally opposite, but we've had to learn to use the language of the other person. We had to learn how to support our differences. And it's the same thing with building your community, is that we're looking at how to serve them, not how to serve us. We're secondary, they're primary. So the different ways of being able to be seen. How many of you have written a book? How many of you are promoting the book? How many people feel like the best kept secret? So here's one of the things that in being seen, how many of you are collaborating with other people within your community to support each other in the different audiences? Because every one of you have a different pool of people that other people in your audience, in your collaboration, like here, would like to know. How many of you are doing the collaboration? Okay, that is a big thing because it's when I ask for referrals, how many of you are asking for referrals? Not many. So some. So here, and I would guess that some of you are asking referrals this way, and it's the most common way that's taught. Hi, I hope you've had, really good, or you've gotten good results. Could you refer me to 3 of your friends or people that you know? And people have a tendency to resist, even if they like you, because there's a resistance. But I'd like to give you this. I want you to write this down because I have very few things that I recommend to have verbatim to where you're basically saying the same things over and over again because I'm so spontaneous. But here's how I ask for a referral. Kim, sometimes I feel like the best kept secret. Could I ask you a question? Who do you know that might like to know that I exist? They could say, well, me, if you're at a networking event, this works there too. They haven't even experienced you. But what you're doing, if you use these words, you're planting a seed in their subconscious to where if they understand who you are and what you do, it may be the next day at the grocery store, they go to another event or something, they go, oh, you need to know Kim. She's this, and it just, in fact, I'll tell a really neat thing that just happened. One of my clients, I have been promoting Kim, and he has a podcast, and he had a person on the podcast that said, uh, we need to connect with somebody in the Pinterest that's an influencer in Pinterest. And he forgot who Kim was, but he knew that I knew. So he referred to me. I've connected Kim and this person for another opportunity for Kim to bless another full group of people that I don't know and she doesn't know. But it was planting those seeds that allowed that to happen. But the key part is, who do you know that might like to know that I exist? And asking permission also. Can I, and if you noticed, I didn't wait for Kim to answer. I said, Kim, sometimes I feel like the best kept secret. When I asked that to you guys, you all put up your hands. That's a common thing for business owners. Being an entrepreneur, a small business owner is very lonely. I mean, we're most of the time we go, oh, it must be only me that has this challenge. No, it's most of the time it's somewhat of a universal. But the thing is that when you ask permission, it's like going to your neighbor's house or your best friend's house, no matter how well you know them, you just don't walk up to the door and walk in. You ring the doorbell or knock on the door. And so when you say, can I ask you a question? Sometimes I feel like the best kept secret. Who do you know that might like to know that I exist? 9 times out of 10, they'll go, I'm not sure. But they end up, we again planted a seed that will come back. So it's just a different way of doing it. So being seen in so many different ways. And when I asked about a book, the book is one of the best ways to be seen. I had already been an international speaker and an international business coach. But when I wrote the book, all of a sudden I was on every major network. PBS called me to do PBS. 5 years later, they had me come back again. TEDx called me to do TEDx, all because of the book. And I hate writing. It's not something I enjoy. I'm credited with 9 books. I've been nudged to do number 10 now. And the unique thing, because I told the nudge 4 days in a row, no. And on the 5th day, it came back to me again and gave me the title. Well, the title is Overcoming You. So I had to overcome me to do and say yes to the number 10. But the thing is that it's another way for people to take in information and to see you. Um, I don't understand why that becomes an instant celebrity, but it does. So number 1 is to be seen. Number 2 is to be safe. And by what I mean there is no agenda. There's always connections. Kim and I and Cheryl, we all love to get on programs and see who resonates with us and to have ongoing connections at some point. But that's not the agenda. The agenda is to make a difference. And when we come in with that agenda, people, when they really know that you care about them, instead about how you're going to get them to do what you want to do, so many books are about how to convert. One of my clients a number of years ago called me and said, Gary, how do I get people to convert faster? And I said, let me ask you a question. And when my clients hear that, they know they're in trouble. I go, let me ask you a question. Are you asking me how to get someone to do what you want them to do in your timing and not theirs? And he goes, oh, shucks. Well, that was a different word, but I put in shucks. And he says, what's the solution? I say, talk to more people. Put more people in your pipeline because it's got to be in their timing. It's got to be in the right format, the right formula for them to access. And if it's out of sync, it's never going to work. There is an old saying, a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. And so when we're listening, and this is the key, you have to listen. You're going to know if a person is now, later, or never. And most of the time, you're only going to know if a person is now because they come forward, they want to engage. Everyone else is a later or never. But we don't have to determine which one it is. They just go in and we're dripping on them. Do you know who created drip marketing? It was American Express. Any of you ever get something in the mail from American Express about every 6 to 8 months? They put this massive mailing out and they have such a large CRM that they know a percentage of people are going to be right now, but they don't know who. So they just do it. It's in color and it's multi, all these other things. But they were the ones that created it. And so what we're doing is nurturing the people, not converting the people. And sometimes the person that we're nurturing will never come on, but they'll refer. They go, this person has cared so much, they've given so much, it's not right for me, but I know who is. And so that referral will start happening organically. And so that's number two, is no agenda. Just be there to serve. But that doesn't mean you don't ask for the business. You come in, you present, and you give them the opportunity to engage. And there's some. I'm looking at the time too, and and so it is a process. But when we're listening, people will give us that answer. You'll get that intuitive nudge. And number three is what you have in your product or service, something that your clients need. But that's only half of the equation. Do they also desire it? Are they ready to engage? There are organizations, the National Speakers Association, that's been around for a long time. And this is not a dig on the members, but I call most of the members of the group wannabes. They want to be speakers. And they're just there. They're hibernating, they're gestating, whatever. They're good people, but most of the time they never get on a stage. They're wannabes. And so they join the association, so they see the need, but the desire to risk, like what we have talked about some today, is not there yet. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes we want to birth and create a person into something before they're ready to. Our youngest son played baseball all the way through college, and then he got hurt. He was going to go pro, and now he's a pastor. Go figure. Going from a sports management degree to an MDiv. But the thing is that if when he was playing, at 8, 9 years old, if he was to throw pitches like curveballs and true fastballs, he would have blown his arm out because physically at that age, the body is not able to handle it. And so you have to allow this to happen for somebody in their timing and sometimes it's years. I've had people, in fact, when I put my home study course out in 2010, there was two people. One, when they bought the course, and it was 5, 6 years later, this gentleman writes to me and goes, "I'm ready now." I go, "For what?" He said, "For you to be my coach." I go, "Oh, okay." The other thing is that I put out, a woman bought the course, and 7 years later, she wrote me and she goes, "I can't find my login. I'm ready to do the course now." I mean, it's weird. Our job is to get our good materials into their hands. It's their job to access it. But we have a tendency to think that it's about us and our validity and our value is based on their results. Well, their results are their results. All we can do is open the door. It's up to them to walk through. And our job is to be in business when they're ready. So our job is to last. And we can only do that as we, expand, allowing more people to know we are here and to be in a position of receiving, like what Chris was talking about for you. And a number of you also said, so that's number three, those 2 points. A number of you have said that you've been into what you've done for a long time. It's okay. It doesn't matter whether you're new or old. I mean, one of my clients is 24 years old and she's a life coach. Well, there's a reason she's a life coach because of her experience of what she's already gone through. I have another one that is a 30-year-old and she looks like she's 19 and she's a mother of two and her husband came back from Iraq and committed suicide. And so she is also a relationship coach. And so I tell them, they go, well, nobody's going to take me seriously because I look young. I go, okay, I'm on the other end of it. I'm the older white guy that nobody's wanting to listen to because you're old. So any excuse will work if we want a reason not to engage. The thing that we have, the opportunity that we have, when I started out, there was nothing called Zoom. In fact, my group coaching program was a teleconference. I mean, it goes back that far. Some of you don't even know what those are because nobody does them anymore. But the things that we have that are free, that are available to us, the different platforms to get us out there is amazing. And by being on this call, I know you have a story. I know that you have a mission. I know you have a purpose. And to be brave enough to go out and fine tune it to where your community starts gravitating to you because they see you as the solution for that pain. It's like when you go into the grocery store and you have a headache, you don't go to the vegetable aisle, you go to the medicine aisle. We allow people to come in for what they're wanting. They will gravitate, and if they walk into your store and walk out, a grocery store doesn't say you didn't buy anything. How come you didn't buy anything? No, we're there to serve. We're there to be there and to be open when they're ready.
Oh, good. Whew, yes. Take a drink or get a fan. This has been a jam-packed hour as always. And, I think you guys can agree that the time goes by so very quickly. And I know Gary, he will serve and serve and serve until I reel him back in. So I want you to share your free gift with us if you don't mind, because this is pretty awesome.
Sure. Well, my group Q&A mastermind I do twice per month. It's on the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month at 1:30 Mountain Time. And it's a free 30-day membership to that group. And I call it the pink spoon. If you can come in and test it out, it's a challenge for you to get on the call, and it's a true Q&A mastermind. We stay on for as long as people want to engage. Is that you can email in a question. I'll answer it live on the call. And you also receive the MP3, the MP4, the video, and the audio, as well as the transcription. And we've added something else. We are asking people to bring an ask to the group, whatever it is that you're looking for. And my VA pulls off the ask requests and puts it in a Word document so it's easily accessible for the group to help support each other, make connections. Everything I do is about cross-pollination. That's really, I want people to engage with each other. And so it's all roads don't lead back to me. I just happen to be a pivot point. So the free gift is just freegiftfromgary.com. And it's real simple. After the 30 days, if you'd like to continue with it, it's $27. But at the end of it, there is no arm twisting. There's just an invitation. And if it's good, stay with it. If it isn't, no harm, no foul. So that's the free gift.
Man, the hour, this was the free gift, but I mean, that's bananas. And I hope you guys take advantage of that. When I said servant leader, what you do right there, who sends out the audio, the video, the chat, the this, the that, it's insane. So you are just awesome. And I saw Cheryl commented, you and Cheryl have a Speak to Sell masterclass coming up actually.
We do on May
Mhm.
22. We have a master class. You can go onto my face. Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to connect with me on social media, just reach out. I'd be happy to do that. But it's we have a event on Facebook. I have given all the links to Kim. But if you go onto Facebook, you can see what the topics are, but it's all of the uh, basic elements of how to use speaking, whether it be one-to-one or one-to-many, to increase your viability and your revenue. And it's virtually the same. People are really, to think about the largest audience. Well, my largest audience was around 14 million people, because when you're on PBS, it goes to 157 major markets throughout the US and Canada. But some of the bigger audiences have been 14 to 20,000 people. Uh, it doesn't matter there, or if it's a one-on-one, you're having a conversation. And what Cheryl and I do is, Cheryl is one of my clients, but she's also my media trainer at the Speaker Bootcamp, but she comes out of Real Radio. And so what we do is we help you understand the different opportunities out there for being able to share your opportunities with a larger segment of the population. And that's free. We're just doing this as a master class, and that's going to be starting at 6 o'clock on May 22. Yeah, May 22 Mountain Time. Since I live in Mountain Time, I do everything Mountain Time. So that's the other thing. When you guys have programs, people always ask me, when should I schedule them? I go, when it works for you. If you start asking your audience about when to do it, you're going to get someone upset because you're not going to choose their time. And and when you provide the recordings, in fact, Kim did that on. I just saw it right before this. If you're not able to come, you're recording, and you're going to send the recording out. So May 22 for that. There are two other events that are coming up. Karen, is Karen here? Kim?
Not today.
Oh, okay. Karen, some of you know, she was at the last speaker boot camp. We do a speaker boot camp 2 to 3 times a year. The next one is coming up in July, and the information, it's held here in Denver. We're doing something a little bit different for this one. We've added in, for those that are not feeling really ready to do stage presentations, they can come in at a lower investment and get all of the information to implement, and without the stage time at the event or the headshots, the videos, the live stuff on stage. So we've made some adjustments to it. But I think Kim will send that out, or you're putting it in. Oh, you're putting it in the chat.
All of the above. You guys will not escape easily.
So
This is too good. So I will be sending it out for sure.
then the other, and this is the last opportunity. I used to do the business mastery boot camps multiple times a year. I used to do them 4 times a year, then 3 times a year, then 2 times a year, and then I got smart, or I got older and tired. Now I do them only once, and it's in September every year. And the one in September is number 45. Something that we have done with Kim is anyone that comes out of Kim's organization or from her influence, we're doing a special VIP breakout just for your group at the event. I have never done this before, but Kim and I, we were both speakers at an event that we didn't get a lot out of the event, but we got each other. And I so believe in what she does. She's one of my speakers at the business boot camp. That's how much I believe in what she does. And the the thing is that I have never wanted money to be the reason that people don't attend this boot camp. It's $347 for all 3 days. It's a 3-day event here in Denver, and she's putting that information down in the chat somewhere. But we go through day one is I call it Foundation Day. It's the uh, emotional and there's another word I'm missing. But anyway, aspects of building a business. Most businesses trainings teach the techniques, the strategies, and I believe it's the emotional ability to stay in business that's 80% of what it takes to be a success in business, the stickability. And so we go through that on day one. In fact, we do a board break on day one. So Kim will get you ready by jumping out of airplanes. And we have an 8th degree Taekwondo champion that works everybody through. Everybody loves Chris in the board breaks. Our youngest person was 5-year-old, a 5-year-old boy. The oldest was an 80-year-old woman. We have never had someone that wanted to do the board break that didn't do it. So we're not going to break that record. And then the next 2 days are all of the proprietary ways that I've been building my businesses. It is content driven. It is not a dog and pony show. That's my biggest challenge. Is people think because the investment for a ticket for this is so low, is that it's just going to be a dog and I call it's the old dog and pony shows, but it was bait and switch to where every 90 minutes there's a new offer, and it's not that way. We just don't do that. And so there's it goes by very fast. We use and I put on my Facebook thread yesterday a video. Tom Coverly, I don't know if any of you know Tom. I have him coming in to do a special. It's really not a party, but this guy is an amazing magician, but he's an amazing speaker. And the thing is that he goes into schools and it's anti-bullying and anti-suicide. That's his mission. And so a lot of the schools don't actually have the ability to pay him. And so he uses people like me and associations to be able to provide revenue. In fact, when I paid him to come, I didn't pay it to him, I paid it to his nonprofit, and that nonprofit funds the schools that he's able to go to. But I put out a short video of him at another event that was hilarious. So it's something we've never had Tom at the event. So Tom and I, that's a neat thing about being a speaker. You meet people on different stages. And I was speaking at a faith-based conference, and he was there and speaking as well. And we became friends. So anyway, so those are some of the things that are coming up. But, I always offer my, connection. And if anybody ever just has a question, a quick question, Gary at GaryBarnesInternational.com. I answer my own emails. It's how I've done things. I have been told so many times by my coaches that I have hired that I would never make it and I'd be broke and all this. And I go, no, not so much. So I'm a contrarian. And also my style is questions. I'm a Socratic person. When I was 20 years old and a pastor, I thought I knew everything, like most 20-year-olds. And as I grew older, I realized the more that I knew, the more that I knew that I didn't know. And I didn't know that I was a Socratic coach until I was watching History Channel one night and figured out that Socrates created what I do. I thought I was smart. No, I was just somehow, gravitated to this. And so my job is to ask questions and to be able to stimulate ideas and thoughts and, give people permission to step into their light, because somebody is looking for that light to take their next step. So it's been an honor.
I love that. Man, listen, we cannot thank you enough. And friends, thank you so much for investing your time with us today. If you were in our last Zoom or two, I got my but spanked by Gary for my choice of words. So I have to choose them wisely around this guy. And yes, so listen, thank you so very much. This has been awesome. And thank you for everything that you brought for us, not just your wisdom, but your gifts. That is amazing. And you're a testament of all the ripple effects that, you know, that are possible. And I really want to meet that guy and his nonprofit. You know my story, so I'd love to connect with him. And so I will send out the recording via email to all of you with, I take a page out of Gary's book now. Here's this, here's that, here's this, here's this. Take what you want. And happy Friday. Have a great weekend, friends. Hope that this was valuable for you. Gary, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye, friends.